Hello! Welcome. I'm Dave DC Hewitt for Fantasy Basketball Analyzer, and this is going to be our waiver show. It's a little bit different because in prior weeks I put the waivers and the schedule together, but I'm trying to break it out to give you a little more information, a little more context, and also I can just get you the schedule stuff a little sooner when I do this. So it's a new format. Feel free to let me know in the comments what you think about it. I'm going to try and work in the news, especially this week where there's been a lot of COVID stuff in the NBA, and I guess around the world in certain parts, but specifically for the NBA for focusing on this. So I'm going to try and run through the news and give you some waiver stuff in there for weekly streamers. I'll mention some season-long guys as we go through this. So if you didn't watch the schedule video already, I will link it here right now. You should go check it out. In that, I gave the options of, I like Justin Holiday because they play 5 games this week. So Indiana and Philly play 5 games. And I suggested Tyrese Maxey, which is looking pretty good after Saturday's game. We don't know if they're going to get more of the team back. Hopefully they do. If they get 2 negative tests, the guy should be cleared. As far as I know, a lot of the players got their first negative test on Friday night. So if you're watching this now in the future, you probably know more than I do. So beyond Tyrese Maxey, I give Shake Milton and Danny Green a look. They're all under 50% rostered. So you should be able to get them in most leagues. I like Tyrese Maxey, but he's like the 6th man. We know Seth Curry is going to be out. So Shake Milton took over that starting spot. Danny Green was already playing and playing a lot. So his value is pretty much what you're seeing unless it steps up. It doesn't necessarily move up because of the other things that are going on. So those are the guys I kind of already mentioned, but they're actually kind of my favorite pickups to stream this week because getting 5 games is going to be like huge. Both those teams start with 2 back-to-back games to start the week. So if it's not working out, you got 2 games quick and you can always try and flip them around for someone else later in this list. Sticking with the disappointing news, Thomas Bryant got hurt last night's game and it looks like it's a torn ACL. So I'm guessing that means automatically out for the year. I think Moe Wagner's the pickup there. You know, Robin Lopez could see an uptick in minutes. Last night in the game, Bryant left with it in like the first 2 minutes of playtime or something like that. So Lopez and Wagner split the minutes. Lopez didn't do much more. As a player, I think I like Robin Lopez a little better, but for fantasy, I like Moe Wagner. I think he's the pickup. It makes sense to go jump on him, grab it. Don't cut anything major, but like see if you get a chance here. Like there could be some real upside. Oh boy, there's so much COVID news to go to. So unfortunately, Maxie Cleaver has been added. Maxie Cleaver has been added to the COVID health protocol list for Dallas. So Dallas has at least 2 players confirmed sick. So we don't know which of all of them, but Dorian Finney-Smith, Josh Richardson, now Maxie Cleaver, they've closed the practice facility there. So it's going to be a little interesting in Dallas. I don't have a great move for this. I mean, I could say like, hey, take a look at Willie Cauley-Stein because he already started and he's available, but right now with a couple people already getting sick, is it really going to be huge for you this week? He's got 4 games. He plays against the Pelicans and Charlotte to start the week. So if you grab those 2 games in 3 nights, see what Willie Cauley-Stein does. I don't imagine he's going to blow the roof off the place. So I'm not too high on that. Next up on the depressing news roundup. So Jason Tatum looks like he's tested positive because he's out for 7 to 10 days. You probably already know that because it made Bradley Beal sit. It made a lot of Boston sit, like most of the team. They're running into a thing like the 76ers do. With that in mind, I think Payton Pritchard is worth a speculative add. He's rostered in 17% of leagues, and he played pretty well last time. It was against Washington. Got 11 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. So if you go for them, Boston's got 4 games this week, and they play Chicago and Orlando in an early back-to-back. So you grab them, give them a try, and see what people get back. Like I'm hoping Jaylen Brown and the rest of the team is able to get back, get their 2 negative tests, and be back on the court. So, and if that's true, I'm a little less interested in Payton Pritchard, but he's getting a lot of minutes right now. Along the same lines, Daniel Theis. I think you pick up Daniel Theis. They have, even though Boston's been playing basically 2 bigs all season long, they don't have any because of this, right? So Daniel Theis gets 4 games. It's on a team that's ravaged by COVID right now. I think it's worth a pick out. It's just him and Taco Falls. I don't think either of these guys are like season-long ads, though. This is purely trying to like capitalize on the short term for the week. So don't cut anything big for this. Next up on the bummer news, Bogdanovic got hurt, and the coach says he's likely out for a while, which isn't really a timeline that helps us yet. But if you can't play Bogdan from Atlanta, there's not an obvious pickup here. I mean, Hunter and Huter, I have a hard time with his name. Huter? Let's stick to the nickname. Red Velvet. Hunter and Red Velvet are the guys that obviously like benefit from this because it secures the minutes they already have, if not a slight uptick in it. Both of those guys are already rostered in more than half of leagues, though. So you could take a look, see if they're available in your leagues, but there's probably not really actionable advice I can give you on that other than, sorry, you got to sit Bogdan right now. That's all been a bit of a bummer. Let's give some good news. Jonas Valanciunas is back from the health and safety protocols. He got his 2 negative tests, is a false alarm, so he'll be back playing for Memphis. You can plug him in. Karl-Anthony Towns is back from that wrist injury. A lot of people feared it was going to be longer, but the guy got back out there. He's playing, and people who were short cat and worried that it was going to be like months. Like, it didn't sound good when they said it was week to week. So that's awesome. Glad to see him back. Halliburton's back from his injury. That was pretty quick, which is awesome. This isn't necessarily breaking news, but it happened this week since I've done the waiver show. And Darren Fox left that game a few games ago, 3 games ago. He only played like 5 minutes and left injured. So he's on a minutes limit. Looks like around 25 minutes, but he just played both legs of a back-to-back. So they're probably not too worried about it. And that just seems like good news. Again, it's no waiver impact here. It's just some good news. You could be a little less nervous about it. You can check and see if Halliburton's available in your league, but he's pretty widely owned. Switching gears to look real quick at just some trends I've been seeing about a lot of pickups. Bobby Portis had a really good game last night. He had 33 minutes against Cleveland. It's because Giannis was out with back spasms. I don't expect this to linger. So I don't know that Bobby Portis is a must-own. Actually, I'm pretty sure he's not a must-own. He's been playing well. They've been using him. I don't think he's going to be amazing for you. Like, unless Giannis gets hurt, I don't think he's going to explode for you. So I really don't want to use that like season-long bench depth to hold Portis. But on the small sample size, I do think anytime we hear Giannis might sit, even though he's typically not a guy that they rest on back-to-backs, if we hear something like this back spasm stuff, I do think Portis is an automatic pick up and play for a single day if you're in a daily change league or for your DFS. So just keep like a mental note of that going forward. Well, I don't want you making the season-long moves for that. Just remember when we hear Giannis is out, Portis seems to be in a good situation. The bench depth is pretty weak now in Milwaukee after they had to make so many moves to try, or such a big move to get Drew Holiday. So he seems like it's a rare situation. It's almost like fantasy football where, oh, the running back went down. I can plug in Bobby Portis for this short stint. This does seem to be that automatic situation. I want to give a no pickup advice. Jared Vanderbilt. He looks like he's actually playing pretty well. He's 9% rostered right now, so it's not crazy. It's just a bad week for Minnesota. They only get the 2 games and they're both against Memphis. So I'm seeing him added a lot in the trends. I would stay away. Give it a look. Like, if he does well, he's probably still going to be available for you. And if he blows up, it's only 2 games. You weren't going to get that much use out of him this week. All right, that's most of the news incorporated. Let's try and look at a couple other spots. If you're looking for guards, all right, Jordan Clarkson's got 4 games this week. It's a lot of points and a lot of threes. So it's going to be great for points leagues where they're adding it all up, but you're not going to get a very diverse number. He's over 50% rostered now, but he wasn't last night when I was taking notes. He just jumped up like whatever it was, like 17%. So he's at 58 right now. He was in my notes. I'm giving him to you anyway. Sticking with the guards, Cole Anthony. He's rostered in 45% of leagues, so he might not be available in your league. I think he's going to get a lot of minutes. The thing is I'd only really recommend him in a head-to-head league because I think his field goal percentage is going to be really, really bad, and he's going to get lots of opportunities there in Orlando. We've learned Fultz is done for the season. They don't really have a point guard. So I think Cole Anthony is going to get a lot of run at one of the guard spots. He's got 3 games and 4 nights. Boston, Brooklyn, if you play him Wednesday to Saturday. So, like I said, 45% roster, you might not be able to wait. But like, I don't think he's usable in Roto at all because I think his field goal percentage is going to be really, really bad. But I think he's going to get a lot of minutes. So it's an interesting gamble if you want to go that way. Austin Rivers. I think he's worth a short long-term ad. He's rostered in 26% of leagues, but he's getting those Thibodeau minutes. Last 3 games, he's got over 30 minutes a game. And we know Thibodeau likes playing his guys 30, 35, 38, somehow 50 minutes. He's breaking rules to play them so much. And with that, there's a lot of opportunity for fantasy. So long-term, I don't think it's an ad because there's 5, 6 guards and only so many minutes to go around in New York when everyone's healthy. But everyone's not healthy right now. Rivers is getting the run. Thibodeau's talking that he knows how to play well and he knows what it takes in the fourth quarter. So I definitely think he's worth an ad if for nothing else, that he's getting a lot of volume. New York's got 4 games this week. It's Charlotte, Brooklyn, Cleveland, Boston. So no one you're super terrified of. Number-wise, Cleveland seems to be a team to avoid. But, this isn't fantasy football where you're like, oh, there's a lockdown situation. I can't play him. It's just kind of his little downtick, right? And to that point, someone I actually really like, speculative ad for season long, is Hamido Diallo. He's on Oklahoma City. We know they're doing a youth movement, right? They're tanking. They're going to play their guys. They're trying to just fill the coffers with options. Hamido Diallo is 5% owned. In his last game, he had 23, 11, and 2. So Oklahoma City gets 4 games this week. It's a gamble. I'm not saying grab this guy and plug him in at all, right? This is not my weekly streamer advice, but he does have 4 games. And there's a chance that off the bench, he could continue to be a spark plug for them. And that has real value. That's probably more valuable than Payton Pritchard. So to give you some sense, I really like looking at Hamido Diallo if you don't need someone this week. If you're in a hole, you've lost your first 3 matches head to head and you're trying to build something up for your team, you want a real upside swing, Hamido Diallo is the guy I'm kind of looking at regardless of week, because I think the situation means he might get a lot more run than we've been seeing from it. That said, it's only 1 good game and it was 29 minutes. It's more than he's played any other game. So, don't blow all your fab on this, but try and sneak him in. If you've got a spot and you're looking for a big upside swing, Hamido Diallo is the one name I'm tracking. Like I said, he's less than 10% rostered right now. So he's widely available if you're trying to look for it. Along the lines of 1 game played, Ben McLemore, Houston, he is 1% rostered right now. So widely available. He got 5 threes in 16 minutes. Houston's only got 3 games this week. So I'm not, it's not really a streamer for this week. Also, it's 1 game, so you want to be cautious that the ankle doesn't act up and he missed time again. He gets Lakers and then the Spurs twice. If he has a good game against the Lakers, I'm interested in picking him up against both those Spurs games and see what happens there. And 1% rostered, he'll probably still be available. So check in on him around Wednesday. See what the Tuesday night game looked like and then make your choice there. Boy, this is a lot of names, isn't it? This new format. I'm giving you some options. Hopefully it's not just, like I said, I try not to do the shotgun approach of here's a bunch of guys and go pick them up. So I've got 2 more names for you I want to talk about. Royce O'Neal, I think, is worth a look. Utah's got 4 games. I already mentioned that when I mentioned Jordan Clarkson. He's rostered in 24% of leagues. So he's, available in 3/4 of leagues. He's going to be inconsistent, right? I don't expect him to be great. I don't really talk about turnovers on the channel because I hate the turnover stat for fantasy. I feel like it faults people who get a lot of play time and get the ball in their hands. And that doesn't really seem fair. Anyway, Royce O'Neal is great for a 9 category because he's good with the ball. He's not going to do a lot of turnovers. He's going to get you some points and some rebounds, but he's going to get to add 3s and assists out of your power forward spot. And that can be pretty handy. So if that's what you're looking for, I'd give Royce O'Neal a look. 4 games, I think it's worth a shot. And then only with 3 games, JaMychael Green's worth a look if you're in a deeper league. He's rostered in 17% of leagues. He's not going to wow you with anything, but he is also going to get some 3s. If you get looking to build up on 3s and he play power forward or center for you, I think that's interesting. His field goal percentage isn't going to be great, but he doesn't really take that many shots where it's really going to kill you. All right, that was a lot of names that you kind of rapid fire. So let's recap and categorize them real fast. If I'm looking for this week's streamers, I really want to attack the 5-game teams, right? So I want to try and grab Justin Holiday from Indiana, Tyrese Maxey, and then maybe Shake Milton if he's playing, Danny Green. I want to go there for this week. That's really where I want to capitalize on the game situation. For season log ads, I'm looking at Moe Wagner. There's a good chance he's going to get at least a 50-50 split the center minutes now in Washington. So I think he's worth an ad now with Tyrese Bryant out with the torn ACL. And then if I want the flyer, like swing for a home run, might completely whiff and have to end up cutting, I'm really interested in Hamido Diallo. He had one good game. He's got 4 games this week, but that's not really the point. The idea is the situation. They're going to give time to young guns, and let's see if he can really do that. He's not in the starting lineup, but that's okay. He could still get plenty of minutes. Those are like my big name ads. If you're looking for certain plugins, I think Austin Rivers is going to get some run now. I think Ben McLemore is worth keeping an eye on. Maybe I'm not jumping on it. And Jordan Clarkson, I like a lot, especially in points league, but he's over that 50% mark, so he's probably not available in your league, but it's worth taking a shot. Everyone else I named, Daniel Theis, Payton Pritchard, like that's trying to capitalize on the situation there in Boston. I don't think any of them are long-term ads. So you can get them, you can plug them in, and then you just cut them and flip them later this week when the situation changes for Boston. Other than that, leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking about the new format. Too much, too little, love it, whatever it is. And go out and win your week.